welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. I have two very special guests with me here today. We have Dr. Linnell Gibson, the principal of Granby High School, and Jennifer Waters, an English teacher at Granby High School. And we're here to discuss Granby's upcoming 80th anniversary. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you.
Well, before we talk about the 80th anniversary, Jennifer, give us a little historic background about Granby High School.
Well, Granby being an amazing school that it is, it was built on a previous farm, built to serve a portion of Norfolk to suit a need. It is steeped in tradition with the Thanksgiving Day football games against Maury. And then we also have the service community aspect through the Tri-High-Wise and the different clubs that has come up. We definitely have the history of excellent education and participation in the community.
Yeah, Dr. Gibson, you all have, I understand, an exciting event coming up for this 80th anniversary. Tell us when it is and what's happening.
It's going to be Friday, November 15th from 5:30 to 8. And we're going to begin with a reception in the Commons area, followed by the ceremony that starts at 6. We've invited Regina Mobley to be our mistress of ceremony, and we also have a guest speaker, retired colonel, and his name is D'Angelo Riddick. Both of them are on the Wall of Fame, and we're going to be inducting 4 more people into the Wall of Fame on that evening.
Okay, so who's being inducted that evening?
Bobby Rome II, Dr. Judge Michelle Atkins, Norman Sirocco, and we have one person who is being inducted posthumously, and her name is Ann Tadlock Edelblut.
Wow, Jen, so tell us, how are these individuals selected?
We chose them based on their participation in the community, their role as excellent role models in the community, and their participation, and the nomination being that they had to be pretty excellent.
And I'm sure there was great criteria for that. But tell us, why did you feel it was important for Granby High School to recognize the 80th anniversary in this way?
80 is a long time.
It is.
And to have a school have a reputation that Granby has, it's outstanding in the community. When you speak of Granby High School all over the world, there's always someone nearby who either went to Granby or they know something about Granby. And just taking the time to celebrate the people who have come through the school and being able to have our students look at what they've become and how they're giving back to the community. I think it's very inspiring, and it's also an honorable thing to do, to have people say, I went to Granby, I'm living in the community, I'm doing well, I'm giving back. I think that's very important for our students today to see what's in the future and to see themselves doing the same thing in the future.
I agree. So Jen, who did we all invite for this event?
We have a nice list of invitees, school board members, parents, students, teachers, and members of the community.
So why is Granby so important? You mentioned about the students that attended there, but why is this Granby High School so important to the community at large?
I think Granby has developed an excellent reputation for giving back to the community. Every organization in our building has some type of community service project. There are community service hours that are tied to the Honor Society, to the ROTC, to the IB program, to the sports programs. And students are required to go out and to give back to the community. If they're buying socks, to give socks to people who are homeless, if they're collecting canned goods for the Food Mission Bank, whatever they're doing something that says we are a part of the city of Norfolk and we are a part of what makes Norfolk great.
So tell me, Jen, how long have you been a part of Granby High School?
I have been a part of Granby, well, I would say from the 80s.
Really?
But, yes, ma'am.
How?
I was a freshman at Granby, swam, participated at SCA, that kind of thing. But coming back to Norfolk, my kids went to Granby, graduated from. I've been a parent, a volunteer, PTA president, sub, long-term sub, now teacher.
So now you're fully ingrained in the Granby, alum coming back and supporting the school. How long have you been at Granby?
My first experience at Granby was 3 years. I was there as an assistant principal, and then I returned to Granby 3 years ago. So altogether, I've been there 6 years. This is my 7th year, but my 4th year as the building principal. So my experience there has been very rewarding. Best thing about Granby is the people. It's a great team. People work together. No matter what we're going through, people come together to make things work.
And you have an IB program.
Yes, we
Which
do.
is one of your flagship programs. Tell us about that.
Our IB program has about 60 students per grade level. It's about 10%, maybe 12% of the entire student population. And students come in the 9th grade, 9 and 10 are preparation years, and they're preparing for the 11th and 12th grade where they go full IB and they take the courses and the assessments at the end of each year. 11th and 12th grade require them to do internal and external assessments. They have to complete essays. There's volunteer work, of course, and there are also projects that the students complete. It's a very rigorous program, very challenging, and the students who come in, 76% of them this past school year did finish the program. And we were very proud of that. They get an awesome experience. It prepares them for college, the world of work, the military. Some of them go into the military, some of them go to college, but they do very well.
Yeah, Jen, how does it feel to have been a Comet and now you're coming back working with the Comets?
Oh, I'm proud every day. I love coming to work. I enjoy the students. I love my team members. It's incredible. It's a great experience.
Yeah, so let's recap again. So if anyone's interested, any alumni watching the show, how they can get involved and attend this event.
All they have to do, they can call the school or they can email the school for tickets or to have ticket spaces reserved for them. We do have a cap at 250. As of November 1st, any seats that have not been taken by the staff, the students, or parents will be open to the community at large. We will run a message on our school website, and we post through the Alumni Association to invite some of the alumni to come as well. But if they just send us an email and say, I would like 2 seats, we will add them to our list. We'll be happy to receive them, and when they come out on Friday, be there for 5:30 for the reception, 6 for the ceremony. We'll be ready to celebrate.
Congratulations. You were going to say something, Jen?
I was going to say, we have the commemorative coin that we're rolling out this year.
Yes.
In order to mark the celebration, and it's an incredible piece of memorabilia that we believe that's going to be something to get, something to have, because it's so tangible.
Yeah, this is an exciting time for Granby High School. I'm glad you came on the show today, and go Comets.
Go
Some folks will
Comets.
show up
And
and come.
thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you both. And we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now. Welcome back to NPS Now. With me today is our Safe Routes to Schools coordinator, Teresa Pusateri, who's going to talk about the great things that are happening in this program and some activities that may be going on with it. So welcome to NPS Now.
Thank you for having me.
So explain for our audience, what is Safe Routes to School program?
Safe Routes to School is a national program that's it's grant funded from the Virginia Department of Transportation, and this year we were actually awarded the largest grant in the state of Virginia.
So as a Safe Routes to School coordinator, what is your role here at Norfolk?
My most important role is I write the grant. It's a pretty lengthy process. It takes a few months. So once we have the grant secured, I do different events with the children and at the different schools, and predominantly work with the PE teachers and the principals and provide them safety material, education materials, and just the tools and resources they need to teach safe ways to bike and walk to school.
So is that what goes into the grant?
Yes, 100%. The grant is for safety for these students with Norfolk Public Schools, education, and just making sure they're getting to and from school safely.
So in our area here, the 7 cities, are there any other school districts that have Safe Routes to School
Yeah,
program?
there's actually 18
Wow.
in the state of Virginia. A lot of people don't know that. Close to our region, there's Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Newport News, and I know Hampton just received a grant this year.
Oh, that's great. So everyone's looking at safety.
Correct, yeah.
Walking to school and being safe. So tell me about some of the events for Safe Routes to School.
So with Safe Route to School, there's a few events that we celebrate throughout the year. In October, we just had Walk to School Day. That's a great way that we try to get the parents actively involving their children to walk to school safely. In February, we have Crossing Guard Appreciation Day. And that's just where we honor, we celebrate the crossing guards and try to kind of let them know that we appreciate what they do for our children. And lastly, in May is Bike to School Month. Within that month, there is Bike to School Day. And throughout that month, we do different bike safety activities, bike rodeos, which are basically after school bike clinics, where we have volunteers and local agencies that come in and help teach bike safety.
What kind of things do people see at the bike rodeos?
At the bike rodeos, for once, the police department will be there. They'll be on their bicycles, kind of giving the kids a little ride through the neighborhoods. We have different stations set up, a bike safety station for how to fit your helmet, how to check your bike for the correct brakes, air pressure, tire pressure, that your chain's working properly, and also just lots of active volunteers in the community that just want to help teach the children.
Well, for the parents' sake, are there any fees associated with these events?
0 fees.
Okay, good.
Safe Routes to School is 100% funded by Virginia Department of Transportation, so everything that goes into it, from t-shirts that we give away, bike helmets, bike locks, bike bells, different fun things like pencils and erasers and activity books. It's 100% free, and every kid will go home with something.
Yeah, so the grant pays for it. I'm looking at some of these items on the table. How does the grant pay for some of these? What are some of the things you're giving away?
Well, what I try to do is anything that promotes safety. For instance, these activity books, there's a lot of information for the kids to read. They're actually coloring books with some different word activities and just pictures that show the safe way to put on your helmet, that sort of thing. We do give away bike helmets. Pencils are just fun for the kids, bracelets, just anything to give them incentive to walk and bike to school.
And we don't want to take it for granted that they know proper safety, how to put a helmet on, how to cross the street, how to do those things. So it's good that we have a Safe Routes to School program to actually do that.
Exactly, and what we try to do is work with the PE teachers, and the PE teachers go through a little bit of training, so when they do this in their PE class, they know the correct way to do these things.
So for bike donations, if someone says, hey, I have a bike, I want to donate it new or gently used, how can they do that?
They can contact me via email, tpusateri@nps.k12. And I will get directly with them, or just call the Health, PE, and Safety Department, and I will get with them right away. We do accept any sort of donation, monetary, equipment, bicycles, helmets, locks, anything we do graciously accept.
Oh, so will you give helmets with the bikes that you receive?
Yes, that's part of our thing. So we want the kids to ride their bikes. We want them to be safe. So having the proper equipment, the bike helmet on, that's what we need them wearing.
Okay, so reiterate for us what your email address is and phone number so they can contact you for that, because that's important.
Yeah, it's tpusateri@nps.k12. NPS.K12.com.
So what else do you provide in this program?
A lot of it has to do is working with the principals and the PE teachers. So I like to give them some curriculum. So a lot of educational materials, a lot of examples of how to teach bike or pedestrian safety in their classroom. The bike rodeos are a big hit. We like to do those a little bit in the fall, but mostly in the month of May. And that's where we really have a lot of our bike safety experts out to teach these activity courses.
So do you provide bicycles for instructional purposes?
Yes, with Safe Routes to School, with the grant money we receive, we have plenty of bikes for all different ages, sizes, grades. And we bring those to the rodeos. So if your child does not have a bike, we will have a bike for them to borrow for that duration.
So you said you work with the PE teachers. What specific type of training do you have for them or that you do with them for this?
Training is a lot of the kind of ABCs about the bicycle itself. You know, checking the brakes, checking the air, checking the chain, so they know how to do that so they can teach the kids. Also, the bike helmet, that's a major thing, so it's not too loose, it's not too snug, it's just kind of just perfectly right. And then just different activities they can run the kids through, different stations of braking, stopping, looking left, looking right. Those are all important things for riding to school and just riding leisurely.
Well, this has been a great conversation for those who are avid bike riders or the ones in the lower grades, so they're just learning how to ride a bike and also how to walk to school properly. So I'm so glad we had you on the show today, and thank you for joining us and sharing information with us about Safe Routes to School.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or some events happening at your school, please be sure to email us at npsnews@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.